Welcome to Sandbox FOMO5 from Bureau Happold. Each week we pick short snippets from our most recent episode for your listening pleasure. These quick listens could be valuable insights, thought-provoking elements, or even practical advice that will no doubt enrich your life and knowledge. Sandbox brings together curious individuals interested in a specific topic to discuss, dissect, and interrogate it. The style is conversational, with experts from Bureau Happold and invited external guests who will add another angle to the narrative. Listeners are encouraged to gather around our podcast so that we can explore the latest advances in various fields and expand our collective horizons. Sometimes we'll tackle a subject head-on, sometimes a sideways view, but always with curiosity, expertise, and who knows, maybe even a dash of humour. Just think about a two-tier system. You talk about the water coming in to our homes and the water that's then going out. What is the feasibility of, we get this lovely clean drinking water coming into our homes, which we make our lovely tea with our tea quality water, and our teenagers can have their myriad showers. But then this grey water that then just gets flushed away, that could be used in gardens. I think, am I right in thinking that drinking quality water is used in car washes? What are the pros and cons of something like a two-tier system? Let's go to Tom for the pros and cons of a two-tier system along those lines.
I think a two-tier system makes quite a lot of sense because I often think it's a little bit mad that we wash our cars and flush our loos with drinking water. That seems slightly indulgent, I think, in any society, no matter your resources. And again, I think this kind of whole problem has really arisen because we have cities. A lot of people live in those cities, so you've got a lot of kind of concentration of resources and the use of those resources. That's why we then have to pipe in water from very far away, pipe sewage back out, treat it, and put it back in the river. No one solution can fix all the problems, and I think this is why it's quite a difficult subject. And again, a terrible analogy that I've seen to now use for years because I haven't ever replaced it is that water quality seems to be a little bit like happiness. Kind of everyone knows what it means to them, but the definition on what those variables are is really different depending on use case. Now, if you're irrigating crops, that's very different from brushing your teeth or making tea, but it really should be that we're using water at the point we're using it rather than by default just shipping it around the country. Because again, with climate change, we're going to see 30% wetter winters, 60% drier summers. And what that will do is when rain falls, not all of the rain runs into rivers. Some of it evaporates, some of it's used for kind of biological activities.
I think you raised a really good point there, Tom. You really hit the nail on the head. One solution isn't a one-size-fits-all sort of thing. It doesn't apply everywhere. Grey water in particular is something that we absolutely should be pushing for, and recycled water as well, and using water where it's generated. And the potential to use grey water, which is capture water from non-polluted sources like a shower or a tap, and you reuse it for things that you don't need to drink it with, essentially. And there's so much opportunity for that, but it's really only able to be adopted in more new build situations where you can build it into the design. Whereas when we're looking at older buildings and trying to retrofit those sorts of things, and you have to have two pipe systems within the actual plumbing of the building, it becomes a lot more difficult. And then I think in those situations, it's looking at it more sort of a catchment scale, and what can we do in a wider catchment to make the best use of our recycled water and use it to supplement our current water supplies and reduce our overall demand is really something that is going to be more of a focus in the future.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that quick dip into our last episode of Sandbox. Don't forget to subscribe to follow the show. You'll find Sandbox in all the usual places, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Bureau Happold's YouTube channel, and on the Bureau Happold website. What's more, if you want to join the conversation on X, known as Twitter to its old friends, use the hashtag BHSandbox. We'd love to hear from you on any of the topics discussed.